Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Donovan, and today I want to do a comparison of a couple of really fantastic smartwatches. On the left-hand side, I have the Ticwatch Pro available right now for $249 at Amazon.com. Leave a link down in the description if you're interested in picking this up. This is a Wear OS device, so using Android Wear. And then on the right-hand side, I have the Amazfit Stratos. This is also a really fantastic smartwatch you can pick up right now. Bunch of different places. It's been out for a little bit longer, but it's available at places like GearBest.com, Amazon, also directly from Amazfit, where you can get a coupon code to get it for $185. But actually at GearBest.com right now, it's available for $160. But I'll leave links down in the description if you're interested in checking out either of these two watches. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. And ultimately the question about which watch is better for you comes down to this question. Are you more interested in smartwatch features? Because for me, it's a pretty clear choice. If you want the more smartwatch features, you definitely want to go with the Ticwatch Pro. It just has a whole lot more to offer in terms of actual smartwatch features. And so if you want to be able to like play games and things like that, you can use a whole bunch of different apps. Obviously, you can use a bunch of different music apps and things like that. Obviously, there's a huge advantage to getting the Ticwatch Pro. This one does also have NFC for mobile payments as well. And then if you're more interested in activity tracking, then I would say the Amazfit Stratos is probably the watch for you, because this one has more fitness tracking than this watch. It does also have some other features that make it a little bit better for fitness tracking that we'll talk about in a little bit. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the build quality of these two devices. Alright, so as far as the build quality goes on these two watches, they both are quite premium, but they both are relatively large watches. So if you have a smaller wrist, neither of these will maybe be great for you, but notice that the Amazfit Stratos has 3 hardware buttons, whereas on the Ticwatch Pro we just have the 2 hardware buttons, and we'll talk more about those in just a little bit. The Amazfit Stratos is definitely the lighter of the two, so if you're looking for something light to wear in your wrist, the Amazfit Stratos is definitely lighter, and the main reason for that is this one has a ceramic bezel, so not nearly as heavy as what you have here with the metal bezel both on the front and then this metal plate on the back as well. So there's no question the Ticwatch Pro is definitely the heavier of the two. And I will say that for me personally, it's not a huge issue. I can go for a long run with this one with no problem. And same thing obviously with the Amazfit Stratos. Now, a couple other things to mention here is the fact that they both have 22mm quick release bands. Obviously, since this one is an activity tracking focused watch, it has just regular silicone bands, but you can easily replace them with something that's a little bit more formal. And with the Ticwatch Pro, you get some slightly more formal bands here. You get leather on the front, but then on the back, they actually put silicone on the back. So that's kind of cool that they put the leather front on the watch to make it a little bit more, I guess, formal, but still kind of keep it also activity tracking related, I guess. But then also we have the 22mm quick release bands. So again, you can easily replace these with no problem whatsoever. Now, one huge advantage the Amazfit Stratos has over the Ticwatch Pro when it comes to build quality is the fact that this one is 5 atmospheres water resistant, which means you can definitely go swimming with it without any issue. I've been swimming with this a bunch. I wear it in the shower. When it's raining, it doesn't really matter. This one's good to go. Whereas with the Ticwatch Pro, it is IP68 water resistant. They don't recommend actually taking it underwater, even though technically you can. Because it has been tested to be okay underwater. But the main reason is there's a speaker and there's a microphone on this watch, and so as a result, you can get water in the speaker, you can get water in the microphone. They're not going to work properly for a little bit while it's drying out, but it'll still work. I've worn this in the shower and in the rain, no problem, but I have not put this one underwater. So just to keep that in mind, if you need something that you want to be able to wear in the water, I'd probably recommend the Amazfit Stratos over the Ticwatch Pro. Alright, so the next area I want to talk about is the displays of these two watches. So let's go ahead and start out with the Amazfit Stratos. So this has a trans-reflective display, which basically means that in the brightest of sunlight, you can see as I tilt it towards my studio light over there, that it actually gets brighter. Now this one is always on. There's actually no way to turn it off that I'm aware of. And so when you're viewing this at night, you won't really see this. But the brighter the light, obviously the easier it is to see. But it does have a backlight, so if you're wanting to see what time it is at night, you just click a button, it'll turn the backlight on, and you'll be able to see it with no problem. So I really like the transreflective display of the Amazfit Stratos. Obviously not as vivid, not as bright as like an AMOLED display like of a Samsung watch, but still very nice to look at. And personally, what I need for a smartwatch for a runner. Now, when it comes to the Ticwatch Pro, they definitely have some innovation built into this one, so I'll go ahead and tilt this one. So this is the LCD display. It's a dual layer display, so very cool. So as I tilt the LCD towards my studio lights, you can see that it's super easy to see, no problem. But the darker it is, the harder it is to see. So at nighttime, you will not be able to see that LCD display. But as I tilt it towards the light, you can see that no problem whatsoever. So just something to keep in mind. However, underneath that LCD display is the AMOLED display. And so this is where you're going to get your bright, vivid colors. Obviously, in daytime, it's no problem to see this one either. So really no issues whatsoever with either of these. I will mention that, as you tilt it towards the sun, as you can see there towards my studio light, that the LCD display is a little bit visible because it's sitting on top of the AMOLED display. Not a huge issue, not something that really bugs me at all. And overall, I think they both have great displays. I really have no issue with either of them, and I like them both. Alright, so now let's go ahead and talk about the smartwatch features of these two watches, and for this there is definitely a clear winner. The Ticwatch Pro is easily the better of the two when it comes to smartwatch features, and what I mean by that is because this is running Wear OS, you basically have all of the Wear OS apps that are available at your disposal on this watch. So if you want to use a particular health monitor, you can use that. So if you like Google Fit, it's there. If you like Strava, it's here as well. I like Ghost Racer, that's something I use. And like Runkeeper, anything like that. Obviously Google Maps is available here. It does have its own built-in fitness app, so if you want to use that, that's available as well. But just a plethora of options here when it comes to fitness tracking. Also, same thing when it comes to music. So we can use Google Play Music, Spotify, Podcast Republic is available here. So just about anything that's available on Wear OS, of course, is going to be available on this watch, which means, of course, you can play games on this watch. And again, you have NFC for Google Pay payments through NFC. So that is also a great feature on the Ticwatch Pro. Now, when it comes to the Amazfit Stratos and smartwatch features, I should also mention that this one has a microphone and a speaker as well. So the speaker is right down here and the microphone is right over here. And so as a result, of course, you can take phone calls right on the watch if you wanted to. Now, there is no LTE option here. It's basically just a Wi-Fi Bluetooth connected device. So the Amazfit Stratos, of course, is also a Bluetooth connected device. It's going to get notifications from your phone. And when it comes to smartwatch features, you can see here that we have some notifications. You can see I have a few Facebook notifications. Apparently I didn't block Facebook from giving me notifications on here. But you can see we got weather. As I swipe further to the right, we have heart rate monitor. We have music. So something I will mention here is that with this one, you can download playlists from Spotify, from Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, whatever. Here you have to basically use MP3s that you have on your computer, drag and drop them over to the watch, or actually MP3s that are on your phone, you can actually transfer to the watch as well. So that is cool. Both of them have the ability to have music stored on them. And by the way, Bluetooth connection on both of these is very good. So when you're connecting them up to headphones, really no issues there. So you can see there was an alarm, compass, stopwatch, sleep tracking, and then training center you can see here. So that's going to give you some training improvement recommendations, a timer, and that's pretty much it. So that's about all you get when it comes to smartwatch features on the Amazfit Stratos. Again, this is a fitness-focused watch, not really necessarily a smartwatch focused watch. So notifications are there, but not a whole lot of other smartwatch features. All right, so now let's go ahead and talk about the fitness features of these two watches. And for that, there's definitely a clear winner again here. The Amazfit Stratos for me is definitely the better of the two fitness watches. The reason I say that is because this one, of course, can go underwater, track your swimming. It does also have native sleep tracking as well as all-day heart rate monitoring. So notice that heart rate monitor is always going on this one. And again, that trans-reflective display makes it great for outdoor viewing. So all in all, this is a fantastic watch when it comes to fitness tracking. It has GPS built in, of course, very, very accurate GPS. And again, you have that music ability. So if you want to listen to music while you're working out without wires connected to a phone or use some Bluetooth headphones, fantastic watch for that. So all in all, really great watch when it comes to fitness tracking. Now, Ticwatch Pro also does fitness tracking. And again, I've already mentioned that it can use things like Strava, use Runkeeper, whatever it is that you use for tracking your fitness. But the disadvantage here is that with this one, we do not have an always-on heart rate monitor. So right now, notice that the heart rate monitor is not on. And that's because it only basically tracks it while you're actually in a workout. So if I were to turn into, like, let's say something like Ghost Racer, so this is what I use to track my runs. Notice that the heart rate monitor turns on, and that's because it recognizes that you're doing a workout, and so it turns the heart rate monitor on. But notice as soon as I swipe it out, it's off again. So just something to keep in mind. So this one does not have sleep tracking as a result. There is technically an app called Sleep as Android. I haven't really ever used that. Personally, sleep tracking is not important to me, so it's not something I've really cared about. But there is an app that you can use technically for that. And again, this one's not going to track your swimming. So if you're a swimmer, obviously the Amazfit Stratos is going to be the watch for you. All right, and the last area I want to talk about when it comes to these two watches is the battery life. And this one's really kind of a tough one to call. The main reason I say that is because it really is dependent on how you use your watch. So for the Ticwatch Pro, you can get anywhere from 1 day of battery life up to about 30 days of battery life. So that is a huge range, and again, it depends on how you use it. So the reason I say that is because if I go over here, notice that there is, whoops, I went the wrong way. So I have to hit this button right here. It's going to take me into my various apps. There's an app here called Essential Mode. So what Essential Mode does is it turns on just that LCD display, and that's how you're going to get that 30 days of battery life. However, it basically turns this into a dumb watch. Basically, at that point, all you have is time, date, and your step counter. And that's about it. So in general usage, when you're using it normally, I would say probably 2 to 5 days is going to be what you're going to get out of this watch. If you're using a lot of Bluetooth music, so connected up to Bluetooth headphones, and you're tracking with GPS, then you're probably going to get about 2 days. Now, if you're using it so that the LCD display never turns on and you're always using that AMOLED display, then you're probably only going to get 1 day. So that's why I say 1 day up to 30 days. So if you're using it as a dumb watch and you don't care about all those smartwatch features, then 30 days, but anywhere all the way down to 1 day. Whereas with the Amazfit Stratos, basically if you just use it as it is, you're not using GPS, you're not using the Bluetooth, then you can expect about 5 days of battery life, which is what they say here. However, if you're using Bluetooth for music as you're running or working out or whatever, and you're also using the GPS regularly, like I'm running anywhere from about 6 to 10 miles a day. For me personally, that's going to drain about 25% per run. So I'm generally getting about 2 days of battery life, and that's with using Bluetooth music and GPS every time I run. Same thing here. So if I use them the same way, basically I'm getting about 2 days out of battery life out of both of these watches. So really battery life is going to be very dependent. Obviously this one has the capability of going a lot longer, but this one has that always on display, but you can see this one also has an always on display as well. All right, so let's go ahead and conclude this up. And obviously, I've kind of said this before, but here's the question. For you right now, personally, are you more interested in smartwatch features? Then obviously the Ticwatch Pro is going to be the watch for you. If you are more fitness focused and you don't really care about all those smartwatch features, then obviously the Amazfit Stratos would be the watch for you. Obviously, this one's going to save you a little bit of money. You can get it for about $160 right now. And this one's $250, so obviously pretty big difference in the price as well. But overall, I think they're both really fantastic watches. I don't think you can really go wrong with either of them. There's just a couple little quirks with each one, but overall, I think they're both really fantastic watches. Hopefully this video has been helpful for you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.